right, my nigga. What are you?
We are heading to.
Hold on. No. What are you talking about? You just threw that in there. You just threw an extra. And I gotta look at these idiots tell me hip hop is dead because it's not in the top 40 for the first time in 30 years. I just feel like after a certain point, I feel like after a certain point, this shouldn't be the spark for what instigates. Like, this shouldn't instigate a conversation about the death of hip hop. A list or a system that groups R&B and hip hop into the same category and then puts Justin Bieber at top 5 for it. And he doesn't have a single record off of his album that oozes any of that spirit at all. I personally feel like. This is why I stopped looking at charts because of that. But I get what you're saying. It's not that the charts are not a good indicator of what people are listening to. And it's not to say that it's not important. Because another argument that I've heard against hip hop is that the less public it is, like the less we see it in these conversations, or the less that we see it on Billboard, or the less that we see it at the Grammys, the less money there is for artists to scoop up and potentially spawn new acts. And personally, I feel like a lot of people should go back to the approach that I felt Rock Marciano said some years ago. I think it was 2018, 2019, where he was talking about recouping 6 figures as an independent artist. From a small group of fans by releasing his music, you know what I'm saying, to a localized group of people. And I feel like part of the reason why, you get this uphill tick and then this downward spiral of something like hip hop is because it's so much money invested into it. And then it becomes all these other incentives to do this and do that and satirize, or satirize the entire marketplace until you devalue it, essentially. I don't have a problem with hip hop having a fade away from the top 40 or having a fade away from, the mainstream appeal that it's had, because I don't feel like it should be as accessible as it's been the last couple years anyway. That's just me personally. If it has to climb its way back up, that's fine. If it has to be a little bit more local, I feel like that's fine too. I don't feel like it was ever supposed to be this big. I personally feel that way.
Did you hear about the Grammys splitting the best country album into 2 categories?
I haven't heard
Best
that, no.
Contemporary Country Album, Black Dominated, and Best Traditional Country Album, White. This is after Beyonce won hers.
I don't think it's going to be separated in the terms in which you just described, but I do think the separatism in it does basically lead people to come to that conclusion. Because why else would you make that distinction? I don't feel like that's even necessary. You listen to Cowboy Carter, you're like, okay, this is quite literally a country album. Whether you think it's like music that emulates more of this style or not, like the crux of it, the heart of it is a country record. It's literally what happened. I don't think they said white and then black. That's what I'm saying. Those are the terms that I'm saying that they probably didn't officially include.
So with that being said, where do you think rap goes from here?
I think rap is fine. I think that there's like, I feel like people have so strongly wanted there to be like a definitive reason. They don't have to say it though, it's implied. That's what I said.
They don't have to say it, Toe.
I just said that I don't think that it's unreasonable to come to that conclusion when you hear it separated in that vein, because I personally don't think there's a reason to separate them. So I'm not mad if people come to that conclusion. I just, if it were to have said that, is what I was saying. They're like, okay, nah, that's insane. But I feel like people are trying so hard for there to be a particular reason so they can either be on the right side of history or they can just stop, I don't know, theorizing about like why it is this or why it isn't this. I just don't feel like you can pinpoint it to one specific reason. There's a myriad of reasons why hip hop isn't as, you know what I'm saying, preferred within the mainstream at this moment. I think one of the reasons is we don't have anybody that's been dropping like that as far as mainstream wise this year to really push that envelope. They said the person that the last spot that was in the top 40 was Kendrick Lamar. And if I'm correct, I could be wrong, I don't know where I read it. I might be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure GNX for hip hop this year still has the highest sales, right? Which, to me, we knew that in the well, we don't know, but we saw when people were still raving about, Kendrick v. Drake, and Drake dropped the R&B fusion record with Party Next Door, and people were saying like that GNX still outsold it its first week or something to that effect. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but something to that effect. I feel like people should have been trying to have that conversation then. But for it to still have come out in 2024 and it still be one of the highest grossing records the next year shows to me there just haven't been that many drops. There just haven't been that many drops. And that's okay. People are going to mention Playboi Carti, and I don't know why Carti never gets mentioned in the conversation when we talk about like hip hop being represented this year. Maybe because he's just not traditional. Maybe they don't like him enough, but I think Carti did what with IM Music, like 300,000 first week. I don't even think it's limited to that many good drops either. I mean, that is a contributing factor. We got the Carter 6 that came out this year. We got You Scuddy that came out from Young Thug this year. And a lot of that traction was kind of minimized due to Young Thug's antics outside of the music. He was dropping interview after interview after interview. Then when the music came around, none of that shit made it there. None of the shit that would have been interesting to hear musically made it into the music. It was instead released through interviews. So we probably gave more attention to those than people gave to the music, on top of the music just not being that great. I don't care how many times he said hard R on the intro of You Scuddy. It's not going to save a boring record. It's just not. It's just not going to save it. And of course, hip hop is never going to be a thing that people need to look at and say, oh, okay, well, if there aren't mainstream artists that are coming out this year, then the entire genre as a whole is failing creatively and there's nothing interesting coming out. That's obviously not true. But
I'm late, but I hope your birthday was good.
It was great. It was great. It was a week ago, but it was great. You just made me forget what I was about to say, man. Fuck you, man.
Hip hop is just missing that raw feel. The beats had emotions back then. Hip hop just soulless now. We don't have once in a lifetime artists now. We got Carti, of course, but come on. We listening to people having August on a beat.
That's just not true. That's just not true. And I want that to be the case. I want it to be an easy easy explanation. I want it to be something so simple like, oh yeah, the artists are just trash now. That's not true. There's new niggas spawning every single day. Now, do they all get the attention that they deserve? No. But do I think that there seem to be people that think that if everybody crowds around one guy that everybody kind of agrees is talented, that'll be the new mainstream guy. And that's just not the way that we should be interacting with people that are talented within the space. Because everybody isn't meant for the mainstream stage. Everybody isn't meant to be on consumed at a mass. I just don't feel that way. I feel like there should be artists that are extremely good, like 10, 20, 30 times better than the mainstream, that never get that mainstream recognition if that be their choice. Some guys you should have to look for, I'm sorry. Some guys don't want that position. Some guys don't want to be consumed at a mass. And I feel like when we had these conversations about, oh, well, there's nobody new. Y'all not supporting the underground enough because if you did, they'd be mainstream now. That's not the intent. That shouldn't be their purpose. Let the mainstream niggas keep dropping what they drop, have the blockbuster releases whenever they come out, and leave everybody else alone. But we got the subsections and the subgenres of rap for a reason. Everybody don't need to listen to the exact same thing and consume it in the exact same way. And they'll have a conversation endlessly about how you're not supporting this guy and this guy. You know, the minute you do that, you devalue what it is that person is making. You know, the minute that you do that, you devalue what it is that they're doing. They're opened up to mass. They're opened up to being taken out of context. They're opened up to being misinterpreted at a mass. I just don't think it's wise. I don't. And like I said, I know people will probably be like, oh yeah, that's probably a misguided take from you to say you don't think that hip hop should have ever been as big as it is, but I don't think it should have been. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if it was, not made to be profitable in the way that it was. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think that all the voices that we have now aren't amazing. That's not me taking that away. It's probably mad niggas that I'm listening to right now that, unless those contracts were signed 30 years ago, we would never know about. I'm not saying it's not still a good thing, but at the end of the day, for it to go back to a little bit of a return to form and it not be accessible to everybody the way it's been, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. I just don't.
I agree with you on that point. People have been trying to hype up Jid for years, but in my heart of hearts, I just don't think he's got the mainstream appeal.
I don't
He's
either.
got a good pocket of raps and has a solid fan base. If an artist is able to obtain that, I think that...
And I would agree with you. On top of that, I think for those who are fearing rap not having the funding that it needs, quote unquote, and them not having like the availability to support the new and up and coming artists, I feel like this will eventually still put more of the power of the music back in the hands of the people that make it. If you're telling me that a label doesn't have the amount of money to fund an artist, the type of contracts they generally sign these guys for in the first place are generally predatory on its own. Do you want them to be in that position as their first option when they get up? You know what I'm saying? When they start having their popularity, when they start having their surge, you want them to go there first? I just don't feel like that's wise. There's way more profit in having a small core group of people listening to you. It is. It's way more lucrative. It's way more longevity within it. I personally feel like. I don't think it makes sense to put everybody in center stage. I just don't. But
I think artists like Sabu are the future, where it's still a large following but not necessarily universal.
I mean, you could say the same thing about YoungBoy. YoungBoy isn't a Drake. I mean, YoungBoy has made some incredible strides, do not get me wrong. But YoungBoy not at one of those big three levels yet, and you're not thinking about him like, oh, at some point within the next 5 years he's gonna be hurting financially. You're not thinking about him like that. You're not looking at Griselda niggas or somebody just mentioned Makami. You're not looking at Mike and being like, oh my God, I hope, you know what I'm saying, that he don't run into an issue or a situation where he's not funded long term, because he's never been at that size. Why would that be the concern now? It's just, I don't like these arguments, bro. It's just weird. Now, somebody did tell me to look at an Open Mike Eagle video about this, because I've seen quite a bit of content about this conversation, and I've heard nothing good. Pyro, I appreciate you with the 10 gifted again. I've heard nothing good from any content creators about this that have mentioned it, that have gone over it. I haven't heard anything that made sense or was sensible to me that would explain like the hysteria over rap not being on Billboard in the top 40.
I think hip-hop going back to the underground is perfect. Got to keep the sound away from those unseasoned demons.
And on top of that, on top of the ones that haven't dropped this year, the biggest drops I think that come out this year have been Young Thug, Lil Wayne. You got the massive sales from Kendrick from last year. You had Drake, which I don't really think counts as a hip-hop album. Not because it's Drake, but because so much of it is, trying to be sensual and R&B coded in a bit of a way. And then there was one more person that was on the larger side. I think Big X the Plug had the biggest year he's ever had this year. And Lil Baby came out this year. None of that was really great. Oh yeah, Yeet. But Yeet was more like, I feel like off the cuff. Like he kind of, okay, Toes, what the fuck? 25? I love you, bro. Like goddamn. Clips is a really great example. Clips is a really great example. But it's Clips. You're going to, okay, like this is what, on the one hand, I think Clips having the year that they had, whilst also not having any other like brand new mainstream recognition from anybody else, in terms of like there being a new up and comer or a new guy with a hit single or some shit like that, I think that could be a cause for concern. But at the same time, how are we now saying that like, now you want to say the genre is dead when like legendary duo Clips just just did the most that they like. I don't understand this perspective. I don't get it at all. To be honest, no rap song being on Billboard shouldn't bother nobody. If they really fuck with the genre like that, there's gonna be so much good shit out. I just personally feel like that. Speaking of saving hip hop, Blueface just got out of jail. Blueface is out of jail? A rapper did the Super Bowl. I mean,
also, the biggest thing is which I fucking hate is sales culture. Dumb niggas who think they fucking accountants out here. That shit needs to go in 2025.
I mean, I agree to an extent. They're 50 though. I'm not saying, that's why I said I think it's okay to have a bit of a concern about that. You know what I'm saying? I do. But at the same time, it's like, how do you say that while at the same time getting them to 6-figure sales? Like, that just, those two things just don't make sense to me. Where is he at? Oh, here he is. Please give me some insight
about Silk Song today, though I would love to, and eventually I will. Eventually.
Is it that good, bro? Why do I see so many people talking about Silk Song? I mean, I get it. I know Hollow Knight was like y'all baby, and then Silk Song, you know, is y'all next one up. I know I'm not gonna play it. But is it really that good though?
I will. What we do need to talk about, we don't need to talk about it, but I want to talk about it, is this news, quote unquote news, that there's
now
no
it's
rap
amazing.
songs on the Billboard Top 40 for the first time since 1990. So, I want us to take a look at this. This is an article on the website called.
On top of that, before he continues, do you know how many hip hop and rap elements are within the top 100 that they don't even categorize as a rap song or a hip hop record? Do you know how many musicians that aren't within the genre take from itself? And they end up at whatever placement they end up at. People hear an element and then it's categorized as pop. You know how many pop songs they're rapping? You know how many K-pop songs steal from hip hop? I just don't feel like saying shit like this is representative of like where we truly are if you break it down. I feel like it's kind of, you're overlooking a lot to get to this point.
Billboard.com with a headline that says no rap songs are on the Billboard's Hot 100's top 40 for the first time since 1990. As one long-running hip-hop smash goes recurrent. Remember that later. Goes recurrent. The Hot 100's top 40 does not boast a single rap song, ending a streak that's lasted over 35 years. Okay. And then you have Kendrick and SZA here. Let's read through this. With Kendrick Lamar and SZA's 13-week Billboard Hot 100 number one, Luther.
I'm on top of him. I can't be on top of people. Holy shit. Now I gotta be up here. Now I'm blocking his chat. I'm on top of somebody no matter what. Y'all never satisfied.
The Hot 100, dated October 25th. There were officially no rap songs in the chart's top 40 last week. And this is, remember, this is a headline and an article on Billboard.com about what's happening on the Billboard charts. The highest ranking rap song, defined as a song deemed eligible for charting on Billboard's Hot Rap Songs listing on the October 25th Hot 100, was YoungBoy's Shot Callin' at number 44, Cardi B's Safe, and Big X the Plug's Hell at Night featuring Ella Langley.
They've been saying hip-hop was dead back in 2005 till 2010. All because the South was dominating the charts. Even though Lupe, Ye, Max B, and Stack Bundles were pumping out elite music.
The thing I think I have a big problem with though is like there are people that I feel like have some legitimacy within the content space peddling some of that, and I'm like, yo, that's nasty. Like, you of all people should know that that's not true.
Also
I'm cold as shit now. Holy fuck.
48 and 49 respectively. So they're in the top 100. They're just under 40. And so Billboard is reporting that there's no rap songs in the top 40 on the Billboard charts on the website called Billboard.com that is controlled by the self-same entity. These 3 songs that they did list, for instance, that are on the top 100. Young Boy's Shot Calling, Cardi B's Safe, Big X the Plug's Hell at Night. I will tell you, I have never heard either of those 3 songs. I cannot speak to whether they are good or bad. I can tell you that I've never heard them. I'm curious if anybody in the chat has heard either of those 3 songs.
I very likely would not have heard, if I was not streaming, I very likely would have never heard Safe from Cardi B. I probably would have never heard Big X the Plug. I probably wouldn't know who Big X the Plug is if I didn't have a music channel, I'm going to be honest.
Shot Calling by Young Boy, Safe by Cardi B.
But Big X did have an incredible year, like this year. Like last year, there's no way you didn't hear the biggest, the largest. There's no way you didn't hear that song.
At Night by Big X the Plug.
But he's still having a great year.
I think that's important too. Is that the end of the year? Okay, the last time before that, when there were 0 rap songs in the top 40 of the Hot 100, this article presupposes that somebody would ask that question. You have to go all the way back to February 2nd, 1990, when the top-ranking rap song was Biz Marquis's eventual top 10 hit, Just a Friend, which had just climbed to number 41 on the chart. The next week, Just a Friend jumped to 29, starting a Hot 100 streak of rap songs in the top 40 that would last for the next 35 years, 8 months, and 3 weeks. So, one might again presuppose that, is there some big difference in people's listening habits that made it so that there's no rap songs in the top 40 on the Billboard charts? And then it goes into the reasoning in this next paragraph.
Oh, they try to explain it.
Recent rule changes to Billboard's Hot 100 methodology did play a part in the streak coming to an end. For the chart dated October 25th, descending songs were deemed recurrent and removed from the chart if they had exceeded certain durations on the chart while also falling below certain updated chart thresholds.
So you cannot occupy real estate if you were not if you're not recent? If you're not within their time period, I guess.
For instance, if they had fallen below number 25...
So this isn't about people's listening habits at all. It's just about the rubric that Billboard has implemented now.
After spending over 26 weeks on the chart. That particular change resulted in a departure of Luther, which had fallen to number 38 on the previous week's Hot 100 chart and its 46th week on the listing. So, Billboard is reporting in this article on Billboard.com that recent changes to Billboard methodology in terms of how they put things on the charts or take them off has made it so there's no rap songs in the top 40 on the Billboard charts.
Keep in mind, though, another thing that I would like to mention, I don't know what conspiracy that someone could come up with for why this conversation was sparked. I don't know if someone needed an article. I don't know where this exactly came from, like the first instance of it. But no one could have told me that hip-hop has been in the top 40 on Billboard since the last 30 years. And it's been like a streak of that. Nobody could have told me that, and I cared. I never would have cared. I still don't care. And it never would have changed or altered the way I interact with any of the songs from that era up until now. I'm sure it wouldn't have changed anything for anybody that loves whatever records that were or weren't on the Billboard Hot 100. But I just think for it to barely have been the thing to spark this dialogue is to me making it feel a little conspiratorial. Because to me, immediately having rap songs just nudged outside of that top 40 range, like it makes it seem like when you hear this that you can't find a rap song on the Billboard Hot 100 at all. That's the way it presents itself. Not that, like, when you see this, okay, obviously it says top 40, but when you hear the lack of inclusion, it makes you immediately be like, well, what are the rappers doing? What's wrong with the guys making the music? Why aren't the people listening? That's what it makes it seem like.
Now, I'd have a bunch of questions here. I'd have a lot of questions.
And you're right, 40 is just a strange number. It's a very odd cutoff. I could see top 50. I'm not going to lie to you. Top 50 as far as a number would make more sense to me if you were to say something like that. But then we're not having a conversation about hip-hop no longer being in the top 50. So why stop at 40? I just don't get that. I don't get that.
First of all, well, this isn't a question. This is more of a statement. I don't think any of this shit's important at all. Now, within the unimportance of this, I would wonder why Billboard would feel the need to change its methodology to take song. Like, what is the benefit of creating a system that takes a song off of what's supposed to reflect
what people listen to?
Listening habits for people? Like, what's the benefit of taking a song off of there if it's been on there too long? Why would Billboard want to change that? Would be a great question for me. If something is recurrent, wouldn't that be something that you want to continue to keep track of? If you're supposed to be tracking what the hottest things are? I can't think of any good reason why they would make that change. And I don't know if it's a dark reason or cynical reason. I just really can't think of any reason why they'd want to do that. Now, I do know why Billboard would want to put an article on Billboard.com reporting all of this, because it's going to get folks talking.
And the thing that I guess I'm very much so underestimating the analytical motivation for why this would even be a thing. I fail to see the reason, because I just don't see the money in that. I really don't. I could see, or the business side of my brain would understand why you would be pushing that narrative if I thought you would be getting like a massive increase in traffic. But I don't see people going there to interact with this information for that. Even if that was a part of the conversation, I guess you could say in some way it somehow legitimizes Billboard to people that don't necessarily interact with hip hop for its core. I guess you could say that there's somehow like the standard, and anything that isn't within this crew or this club, like y'all gotta work to be a part of this list, or y'all gotta work to be a part of these songs. I don't know. I can't imagine what their motive could be. I really can't. I don't see the money in creating this controversy.
There are a lot of people, especially in the music discourse.
They are going to talk about it, but I don't think there's enough people talking about it in a way that...
hear about Lil Chopper having a diss track with a dance routine?
I haven't seen anything about NLE Chopper since he was on that podcast with what's boy name, Kirk Franklin, and Jonathan Majors, and a place that he just shouldn't be. Ray J was there, like, what the fuck? I don't want to... But I'll look at what he's doing. But yes, people were talking about it, but I don't get how that funnels attention to Billboard more than it does hip hop. And especially for people that are already kind of on the opposing side of the argument, but they just may not want to entertain hip hop maybe not, being either as visible or it just not needing to be as popular, whatever the case may be, because they want to just be anti-Billboard. I don't see what the reason would be. Like, how would that make it's not? I don't think it's making Billboard relevant at all. I mean, I think that it can, in some contexts, add some legitimacy to, okay, you need to be on this list if you really want to be that guy, but I feel like that's working against them. And I don't feel like Billboard needed it, to be honest with you. I don't feel like it benefits them in any way.
Space that pays so much very close attention to numbers, first week sales, what's the number one song, what's the number one album, how long has this song been on the charts. I could never understand why anybody who's not directly connected to an artist in the music business to the point where they would have some financial gain based on whether or not this person's song is popular. I can't understand why anybody gives a shit. I really don't. I think people try to tie it into some statement on the overall health of rap as an industry. And I've seen a lot of people take this headline that again is on the Billboard website about the Billboard charts. I'm not sure if they didn't make this article with this headline. I'm not sure if anyone would have even fucking noticed.
That's what I said. Nobody would have known. You couldn't have told me that we had a 30-year streak of songs from hip-hop being on the Billboard charts and it meant anything. Chat, who would have knew that? Nobody would have gave a fuck.
I'm not sure anybody would have noticed. But a bunch of people did, the people who pay attention to this sort of thing, and now they're all woe is me about. Now we're back to the death of hip-hop. Remember, before the Kendrick and Drake battle, all the discourse people were reporting on the demise of hip-hop. Hip-hop was no longer a viable industry. It was falling off a cliff. It was this, it was that. And then the Kendrick and Drake battle happened, and all of a sudden, everything was new and shiny again. Everybody was listening to rap music. Everybody was talking about rap music. It's all in the public sphere. Everybody's making money, talking about it, and everything was great. Now that the battle has died down, all these same people are going back to this idea that the health of the industry is somehow impaired because there's no rap songs in the top 40 of the Billboard charts based on a change that Billboard decided to make for.
While I agree with his assessment of this particular point, I still think the attention that Drake and Kendrick received last year and even into this year has severely damaged the way people interact with hip hop. 100%. I still think that was damaging to the way people consume it. I think that was damaging to the way people interact with both Kendrick's music and Drake's music. Still, that doesn't mean that I think that led to or is leading to the death of hip hop. I just think people need to find something else to talk about. That baseball header that we got, LA Dodgers versus the Blue Jays, nobody needed that. It's 2 years later, gang. Let it go. It's funny, though. It's a funny joke for fans to talk about, for fans to make. Oh, shit, LA over Toronto again. Not the league themselves. They shouldn't be making no shit like that. What are we doing? When the fuck has baseball ever referenced these two niggas? Actually, you know what? That's cap. I might not be cap. But still, it's just odd. It's odd.
No discernible reason. No discernible reason at all. I've seen people try to blame.
Drake was talking shit, though. I mean, that's what they gonna do. mad niggas, they act like, okay, like, mad niggas watch baseball, mad niggas watch basketball. You ain't never seen the league go out of their way to be like, oh yeah, you know what? Let's make fun of this particular person because their team lost. They've never done that.
This on Kendrick somehow which is baffling to me. It's baffling. I don't understand. Kendrick did something to make Billboard change their methodology for how they count songs on the chart. I don't know what he could have done. I don't know how it's good for anybody, and I don't know how it's bad for anybody. And I honestly don't see why anybody gives a shit. On the last morning show,
and I do still get why people give a shit, because I still think there's a problem with the way people interact with hip hop. That doesn't mean that I think at any point in our generation or the next, or anytime soon, or anytime in the future, that I think hip hop is at risk of fading away, or fading to black, or it being a lost genre. I just don't think that that's on the horizon at all. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop, in and of itself, is a way of life. It's not just, you know what I'm saying, a genre of music. It's literally intertwined with the way people do shit in their day to day. It's not as simple as, oh yeah, this rapper isn't making songs that are selling, so genre death now. That's not how it works. And it might be one of the few genres that works like that.
Offhandedly, I forgot what album we were playing, but we just started talking about all of the rap releases that have come out this year. We got, you got Billy Woods, you got Clips, you got Jid, you got Chance the Rapper, you got 3 Shrapnel albums. You got Arm & Hammer coming next week. You got Danny Brown coming next week. You got my shit. You got Earl Sweatshirt. You got 3 West Side Gun albums. 2 Aesop Rock albums.
See, this is the problem too. I think this interaction with hip hop is also unhealthy, because I don't want to fucking listen to that. I'm gonna be honest. There's a ton of people that don't want to listen to that. And not to say that I don't want to hear it. I obviously want to hear it, because I'm somebody that listens to like a bunch of hip hop. But you got another subsection or subgroup.
From Toronto.
You got another. You got
to rep his team.
Yes.
You don't get on Gilly the Kid, acting like a fed fiend for the Eagles.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But it isn't to say that like this doesn't deserve ears, because it definitely does. It's just to say, when you say, oh, I don't feel like there's nothing out this year. And obviously, like, objectively, there are things out this year, but things for like a casual that likes hip hop, but wants to interact with it in a way that isn't as hardcore. And I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying, Open Mike Eagle make hardcore hip hop, or that, you know, everybody that he listed is in this exclusive or elite group that can't be listened to from casual ears, but people need something a little bit, you know what I'm saying, light. They need a little lightness, you know what I'm saying? And if they listen to, you know, and they interact with hip hop through like somebody like a Lil Baby or a Young Thug, and they work a lot and they don't put, you know, a lot of time into listening to this and trying to find this and trying to find that, I could understand. I could understand them feeling like they don't have that level of visibility, but it's not because they're not making music that is good enough or that isn't good enough to make the charts. It's just because they're not dropping yet. Like those artists just haven't dropped, I feel like, enough material to come out with this year to talk about. I feel like the mainstream generally has just been quiet this year. There hasn't been a lot to come out, and that's okay. And at least a lot to come out that's been good. Nobody's listening to Lil Wayne or the Young Thug or the Lil Baby. All of those records were ass this year. They were. Also, the lack of attention span. You're not wrong, but some of it's not attention span. Some of it literally is a lack of time. I do shit like this from time to time, and I still find myself feeling overwhelmed sometime, especially as you get older. You just feel like you got less time for recreational, just casual things, and you got to make time for it. I got to make time to fit an album in. I got to make time to, you know what I'm saying, listen to this when I get some additional time. You know what I mean? It's complicated sometimes, but it's just listening to music. I get it, but you know, people need alternatives to these recommendations, because if you tell somebody Aesop Rock after telling them hip hop's in a great place, they might want to smack the shit out you.
And that's just the stuff I pay attention to. That's just the stuff I pay attention to.
I think this equally attributes to that AI artist who signed a multi-million-dollar stream and started charting on Billboard too. Yeah, man, like that's weird. Like, if you have this reoccurring rule that you are sticking to now, don't allow inauthentic, you know what I'm saying, artists onto your I mean, I don't think that's true, number one. Number two, though, if that did occur, I need to see it. And number three, that should never happen. That should just never happen. Ain't nobody checking for ASAP like that. It ain't 2009. Even if people were, I just feel like there should be always mainstream alternatives to stuff like that. Or really, A$AP Rock is the alternative to the mainstream, sure. But when you talk about like blockbuster hits and shit like that, you want those big records because they're a spectacle and they make it fun. Even if there's not something that you personally listen to. Like when Cardi had that big rollout this year, it was fun following it from 2024 up until he dropped the album. I'm not the biggest Cardi fan in the world. It was still fun to be involved. It was still fun to see such a big deal made out of it. It's nice. It's just nice. You know what I'm saying? When I go see the new Spider-Man movie, whenever the fuck that new one comes out, I don't remember the name of it, but I'm going to see it partially because I'm a Spider-Man fan, obviously, but I'm also going to be seeing it because I know it's going to be a spectacle. I know it's going to be gigantic. I know it's going to be huge. It's fun. It's fun experiencing something like that everybody else gets to experience at the same time. I get it. But I don't think hip-hop needs to be consumed in that medium for it to be in a good place. I just don't. And people trying to make it have to be that in order for hip-hop to be looked at as successful, I just think you're missing the point of what this genre even spawned as.
The new underground, the stuff my son listened to, Osama-san dropped an album, 1AM dropped an album, 3 dropped an album, like...
He did not just say Osama-san. Oh, my God. Not to say that that's a bad choice. It's a bad choice. But I fuck with Osama-san heavy.
It's...
Heavy is kind of crazy. Let me narrow that. I know like 3 Osama-san songs that I fuck with heavy.
There's so much...
Heavy is crazy.
Good rap music everywhere. There's so much good rap music everywhere.
Yeah, I just lied twice and had to correct myself. But it's okay, though, because I could tell you which ones. It's just like, it's kind of crazy. His son fault? What you mean by that?
The way I feel about it.
Travis Scott did drop this year. That was trash.
About it. If there's good rap music everywhere, does it matter if we don't exist on the top 40 of the Billboard? I wanted to also take a look at what the top 40 of the Billboard actually looks like now. Okay, so number 1's Taylor Swift. Number 2's Taylor Swift.
This is another point. I think I saw Fantano say something about this, that Taylor Swift and other records are occupying so much of the top 40 that on top of the fact that there haven't been like a lot of major releases recently from rappers, it's going to be hard for anybody to infiltrate this with her occupying so much of the top 10, so much of the top 20. It's going to be extremely difficult.
Number 3 is Hunter. I don't know what this is. I imagine it might be K-pop. Hunter X.
Taylor has good music though. I really wouldn't know. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan like that. I don't speak on Taylor Swift because I don't listen to Taylor Swift like that.
I don't know what that is.
I also know that Taylor Swift is... I mean, fuck. You know, like that's... Who is the next... They had an article that was posted about Michael Jackson making the most money after his death out of any artist ever in history. We haven't had an artist close to Michael Jackson ever. I mean, he's like, you know, obviously like one of one, lane in his own, never gonna be another type shit. If there has to be somebody that's closest in terms of like interaction, you looking at Taylor Swift. You looking at low-key Taylor Swift. You don't want to have to say it. You don't want to have to say it. I'm talking about people that are alive. You don't want to have to say it, but you looking at somebody like a Taylor Swift. You looking at a Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? You looking at those niggas. I'm sorry. I know you don't want to say it. I know you don't want me to include Taylor Swift. Niggas said YB. Stop it. Rihanna? I wouldn't say musically. She got a large fan base. Billionaire status. I can't take that from her, but it's made me so sad that Taylor is the epitome of music popularity. Yes, it's the way it goes. Why are y'all saying young boy? Stop.
Alex Warren is 4. Taylor Swift is 5, 6, 7, and 8.
She's got the whole top 10. But check, guess what? When Kendrick dropped, he occupied the entire top 10. We're not going to pretend hip-hop is bad because nobody's dropping in the mainstream. Like, just cut it out.
And 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 14. Justin Bieber's 15. Morgan Wallen is 16. Olivia Dean, I've never heard of her, is 17. Leon Thomas, who I've heard of, but I'm not familiar with the music, is 18.
I'm surprised. I thought Leon Thomas would be... I'm actually shocked to see him in there. That's great.
Sag Boys, Andrew Choi, Neckwave, Danny Chung. This, again, looks like...
He had a peak at 11? Mutt?
Like K-pop, not to be presumptive, but it looks like that, is 19. 20, looks like the same people as 19. Literally by the names. Kaylani's 21. I know the name, I don't know the music. Morgan Wallen again at 22. Raven Lene, who I've heard of, is 23. Somber, don't know who that is. 25 is the people who I also think are K-pop, Hunter, X, EJ. Sabrina Carpenter's 20.
I still yet to see that movie too, by the way. Chad, should I watch that? Smoking on your top 5. 25, dude, I love you. I know what we talked about. I know what I got to do for the rest. Just chill. Some shit. Oh, God.
6. Tate McRae is 27. Benson Boone is 28. Sabrina Carpenter's 29. The Hunter X people again is 30. Chris Brown and Bryson Tiller is 31. 32. Hunter and them again. 33. Rumi, Genu, EJ, looks like K-pop. Luke Combs. Mariah the Scientist is 35. Is that not rap? I thought she was a rapper.
Dog.
You can't even compare MJ's popularity with artists.
You can't.
Anyone coming close to his popularity now is Messi and Ronaldo.
I can't even say. I'm not going to say you're wrong. But I mean in terms of musicians. Not just people in general, but in terms of musicians.
She don't count? Does she sing? I thought she rapped.
He trolling.
Because if that's the case, then Billboard is reporting lies on Billboard.com.
My man's trolling.
Justin Bieber's 36. Jordan Davis, Tate McRae, Disco Lines, Russell Dickerson. So
look, I probably know about 15% of the list that he just 60%. Wow, I was about to lie again. My fault. That's crazy. Despite that, I wouldn't even call a large majority of the top 40 that we're looking at right now that great. I'm just being honest. Like, by default, you make it seem like everything that's within the top 40 is good enough to be there by default. And then you look at hip-hop, like, as a response, and you're like, oh, yeah, well, everything that isn't in this list clearly just wasn't good enough to be here. And that is another point of contention I have about this article being made and people discussing this in the way that they've been discussing it. Like, oh, yeah, we just need to get better as rappers. Like, stop. Stop it.
And I go through this list.
I've heard some of these records, bro. Come on, man. Some of y'all niggas is paying. Some of this music belongs in the background of Forever 21. Stop it.
I go through this list to add to this. I think, at least here in this chat, we'd agree.
Right, Target tunes. Walmart woes. Just cut it out, bro.
And I think for people who really listen to hip-hop, they'd also agree with what I'm about to say. There is a lot of great rap music around. There's a lot of great rap music that came out of this year. Which of these great rap releases or singles from these albums that are great rap releases would make any fucking sense on this list? Which ones would make a lick of sense?
It's not about that. You asking the wrong question. Which one of these records are better than the rap songs that you're about to see in the top 40 or the top 50? I can guarantee you a single Justin Bieber song don't belong in the top 40. I heard this album is fucking ass. I'm sorry. It is what it is. This is Justin Bieber's most uninspired piece of work I've ever heard from bro. It don't belong there. I heard what Mariah the Scientist be doing. No, she's not a rapper, but she ain't made good music in years. I fuck with my dog though. Tate McRae? Cut it out. We know what Taylor Swift is doing right now. I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to get attacked by the Swifties. Be honest, man.
Next to what's here. And, you know, if you have an answer, great. From the position I'm in.
Tate McRae is a backup dancer forced to sing at gunpoint. Bro, I'm telling you, I've never seen a picture of Tate McRae before. Until that Kevin Durant monkey meme. That is the first time I've ever seen what Tate McRae look like, ever.
It doesn't belong.
I'm not trolling.
This is music for the biggest, massest, most easily accessible consumption there is. This is so you would want some pop rap act to be performing next to all, like, this is like pop country,
Hold on, bro.
pop R&B. So I guess, like, would there be like a Flow Rida album or something that would make sense? Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what it would be. So
That
I
is
think
a great
we
point,
can-
though.
We can continue to not have rap on the top 40 because Billboard made a decision to do that, and it'll be okay. I think it'll be just fine. Matter of fact, I think it's probably better if we're not, because then we're not wading through so much bullshit. And if, you know, if Drake puts out an album and he uses the bots, because I think Taylor and them, they probably use the bots too. If he uses the bots and he's got 15 songs on the top 40, that's great for him.
Chat, do I need to know something about my account? Roblox keeps sending me messages saying, was my child abused by a predator? Lawsuit alert, Roblox class action news. Why do they keep messaging me? I don't have a Roblox account. I've never used Roblox. My nephew don't got Roblox, bro. I've never seen it. I've never had Roblox before. They keep messaging me. Nigga said, I'm not on Roblox. I'm not. I don't have a Roblox account. I can go literally log in right. I can't log in. I can go to the site right now and try to log in. I won't have an account. On God. Look at niggas. You log it. See, I made a slight mistake in speech. It's not that serious. I can't log in. Maybe someone stole my identity? Yo, you know what's crazy? I've frozen all my bank accounts. I'm broke as fuck right now. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm actually broke as shit right now because all my bank accounts are frozen because someone tried to steal my shit over the last 4 days. Shit crazy. I had a charge on my card for Los Angeles at a sex shop. I don't even know how a nigga got my shit from over there. I don't get it. I looked up the shop and I called. I'm like, I wasn't there, right? And they said some information was used, blah, blah, blah. Called up the car companies, and then my whole shit was compromised. I'm not trolling. All bank accounts are frozen. I'm broke as fuck. For at least probably the next 8 days. Shit wild as hell. No, it wasn't me. What do you mean scamming? What do you mean, what was I on? Them Colombians coming for you. They almost stole $25K from me. Exactly. So I'm not the only one. What color dildo? All right.
Because chances are, I wasn't going to like any of that shit anyway. I think there are some people who think that we need a Drake at all times. Like, we need a rapper that is generally considered, and this is if we rewind on Drake, a rapper that's generally considered to be embraced by the rap community, but is also
Morning
a
Seaman, what's
crossover.
the scheme? Why is hip hop dead?
You kind of missed the whole segment, but you'll see it whenever it gets posted. But at the same time, what he's saying is true. But at the same time, what I'm saying is true. Like, I don't think it needs to be a priority for us to have a Drake or have someone that emulates whatever Drake is supposed to represent. However, I do think having it as an option is good. Especially for somebody like me that knows the good and the bad of hip hop. Sometimes I don't want to listen to shit that's just because it's good. Like, it could be amazing. I know that sounds dumb. But, like, great music sometimes comes with a level of thought that doesn't just, that extends sometimes beyond, does it sound good or not? Sometimes I want, does it sound good or not music? And it still be good. Like, I think Drake has made music within that vein. I think other popular rappers have made music with this, that is within that vein. I think it's still healthy to have that, like, opposite.
Pop act.
Nigga said we got Jid. No, the
Hope you can get some frozen fries and hot dogs. That was my struggle meal.
I did run out of fries yesterday. I got some frozen Franks in my freezer, like right now, but I got no buns. I got pizza rolls in my shit. Why do I have them? I don't know. I'm 30. That shit crazy. Why do I have that? Now, granted, it's probably old. I probably didn't even get it, but I'm just saying. Nigga telling me to grow up. I literally already agree. You can't roast me if I already got to it myself. I'm on some Eminem shit. Stop. Expired meats. Bro, like, it's milk, 1%. There's like 3% of a full bottle of Simply Lemonade, the blueberry flavor. I got lettuce. You know what I'm saying? No American cheese. I got regular cheddar cheese and shit. Butter. You know what I'm saying? There's biscuits. There's croissants. You know what I mean? Niggas might starve this week. I'm gonna be honest. Niggas might starve this week. Cut up hot dogs, white rice. Yeah, you tripping. What? Cut up hot dogs, white rice, and ketchup? That's not a struggle meal. You're eating like a fucking, you're eating like a science experiment. Did somebody kidnap you and force that on you when you were a kid? What the fuck? You just trying shit. Ketchup on rice? Filipino ass meal. Yeah, see. Y'all on some other shit right now, bro. I'm not trying to go to the hospital trying shit. Oh, I think I still got spaghetti and meatballs kind of crazy. The sodium intake is like 1,800. Nigga said I'm sensitive. I'm sorry. Okay, so when I just try anything and develop another kidney stone, then niggas gonna be like, oh my God, you old. No, I'm not. You just should watch your nutrition. Honestly, I'm probably never gonna have that happen again, though, as long as I stay away from almonds, to be honest. My
To
fault.
finish the rest of this Paul Mason liquor and spark this blunt. Just got to the crib in the new V. Why not eat some pizza rolls and watch some anime?
Niggas are flexing their V on me when I just said I have no money for this week. Damn. Almonds and Maz can kill you. You didn't say no shit like that before. I hate niggas when they just come out of nowhere with information that you could have used when you were actually doing that. You don't think the first nigga to ever overdose on heroin needed the information? Like, yo, you know, if you keep going for the same vein, thanks, man. I really appreciate the insight. After I already said I wasn't going to consume anymore. Start snorting creatine. What is that going to do for me? Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. Look at niggas, what? Wow.
My bad, gang, but I'm sure your parlays are gonna help you this week.
What parlay? There's no access to the account. I can't even be a degenerate and gamble. Yo. I'm not gonna lie, bro. If you see me just out doing some strange shit, just know, you know, I'm just getting the income up, the revenues. I'm so not trolling. My shit say froze. It don't say froze, but you know, it's frozen. I'ma just imagine if I did have a parlay in right now, who I would have put the bread on, who would I have put it on? I probably would have put it on Luka, and it would have avoided my bet because he's not playing tonight anyway. Injured ass bitch. Bro is fiending. For food, yes. Sorry. Niggas account say element. All right, yeah.
I don't think we need that shit at all. I don't think we need that shit at all. And I also think the fact that Kendrick was able to occupy those positions, given that mostly what he does is not pop at all, I think that's a good thing. And I think that also tells us something about ourselves. I think that also tells us something about ourselves as consumers. And I would say that what I want for us as much of a community as we could call ourselves, hip hop fans, I guess, because we all don't like the same music to begin with.
Wait, can I please not do any fake parlay segments this stream? When have I done a fake parlay? Are you dumb? You're stupid. What do you mean?
This culture has splintered in so many ways. I just want us to investigate, as always, how much of our consumption is being guided by corporations. And if you only like corporate rap, cool. Then yeah, you keep looking for your corporate rap successes on the Billboard Top 40, regardless of what changes they make to their methodology. If that's the rap that you want.
Nigga said I'm addicted. I have literally done nothing extreme to do a part. I'm not about to do this.
But then also when you're talking about it, you should specify that that's what you're talking about. You're not talking about rap as a whole because you don't listen to rap as a whole. Like, you don't listen to any substantial portion of the pie that is rap music. If you feel like the lack of presence here is somehow reflective of the health of the art form. Because some of the greatest shits ever is being made right now. I don't know, like, even when rappers have been popular, I feel like historically we were more aware that popularity didn't always equal quality. And we have got very far away from that. And it's fucking weird. Anyway,
that's part of the delusion I feel like this is. But at the same time, I think the crux of his argument is still really good. And I think he's made the most sense out of any video I've watched so far about this subject. Imagine being a Cowboys fan. Who said anybody was a Cowboys fan? Are you putting bullshit on my, like, I don't know what niggas is talking about, bro. Shout out to this man. Open Mike Eagle. Great rapper and great head. On his shoulders. Fuck. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know, bro. Sometimes. You know, it's like, sometimes, you know, like the more, yeah. I'm sorry, excuse me. I could be a fan in the mosh pit and Cardi could literally pour anything in my mouth. I will be honest with you.